Hi YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm having an okay day, not too bad. I took a day off yesterday and just kind of reminisced about my friend and acquaintance and coworker Estelle. I called her Adele. I always thought of her like that, which is corny, but yeah. We worked together oh about 30 years ago now is what I'm going to think, but she was 92. I thought she was still in her 80s. I was thinking like 86 or something. So, but Doug did end up going over and taking her son, his friend Dave, to the wake yesterday, which was a really good thing because when he got there, Dave had bought a suit and it just so happened to be gray, the same thing Doug had on. But he didn't, yeah, all he had was his work boots. And so Doug was able to run him into town and get him a pair of gray shoes that matched before they got the um to the funeral home yesterday. So, but when he got there, Dave was out there in his good pants trying to pump up a tire that was low, and the rim on his tire of his van was leaking, and he couldn't get the air to hold in there. So he's out there with his compressor, a portable compressor or air tank, whatever, trying to get this thing pumped up just when Doug pulled up. And Doug did call him the night before, and I told him, I said, well, I would go, he's your friend. And, I said, for me, she was a co-worker. I mean, I knew her. I was acquainted with her, but I mean, we weren't like best buds or anything. And, um, like I said, I really didn't even realize her actual age or anything. But yeah, Doug said it was a really nice service, a little long-winded, and but uh, he was happy that he was there for his friend, and so was his friend. So, and the bad thing about it is being that Dave is handicapped because he got shot in the head right here with a 22, and for years it was infected in there, and he couldn't hardly even think or do anything on his own. He was actually literally incapacitated from going from owning great big machinery and hiring all these people to having just about nothing and having everybody around him rip him off because he was vulnerable. And that's kind of where Doug and I stepped in, and we're like, you people aren't welcome over here, and if we see you around, you're going to have a problem. Is, that type of thing. Just putting our foot down, saying, oh no, you ain't treating nobody like this, not us, not him, not nobody. And so a lot of them type of people did stop going around his home, but he would leave, and crackheads and stuff that he knew that he thought was his friends from years and years ago would break in his home and take all his things, take his mother's things. And he brought some of it over here. It's in a van um, that we bought from him. And he just packed a lot of his mom's stuff in there and brought it over. And I really didn't want it here. I didn't want to be responsible for it. But now that she's gone, it's like, well, what do you do? So, and the home. And then he goes in and he pays a guy to do his roofing, an unlicensed roofer. The guy takes the money, and Dave ends up doing most of the work, and it still isn't finished. That's the type of things that happens to him because, well, he was trying to get it done cheaper, and when you don't go with a licensed contractor a lot of times, and they don't have references and that type, and you just got somebody, oh, hey, I can do that for you. Oh, yeah, sure you can, that type of thing. So, yeah. So I guess it was a really nice service. And after that, they all went down to this place that has the best roasted chicken. It used to be way better, but it's still pretty good, called the Brass Rail. It's just a little tiny bar, but I would say more than being a bar, it's the chicken place. And they have other things too, but their roasted chicken is famous worldwide. Literally, people come here from other places and go to this little town called Grandy to have their chicken. And there's literally like 40 houses, maybe. I don't even know if there's a post office. I don't think so. I think their post office is the next town over called Bram. And I used to live there for a little while. So did Doug a long time ago. But yeah. So, and when we moved up from the cities, my parents and I, um, we discovered, well, we had discovered it kind of, I think, probably on our way home from up north. But when we lived out when we first moved to Bethel, um, and then our mailing address changed to St. Francis, but we were literally in this town, not in the town, but the mailing address was Bethel, Minnesota. So when we first moved to Bethel, Grandy was only like a half an hour away, um, which was pretty nice. We could run up there and get some roasted chicken. We usually would have it there, but now it's about 40 miles away from us or a little more. So if we do get any, we just get some and then bring it home. So yeah. And they usually have like dark meat specials. It used to be like for $20 you could get 20 pieces of dark meat um roasted. I prefer the white, but I'll eat any of it. But if they get the dark meat, if Doug does or anybody I know ever has, I'll have a little bit, but probably not too much. It's just not my thing. Um, I used to. I used to always eat the drummies. Um, and that kind of started because out of love for my dad because he liked the breast meat, and so I'd eat the drummies. And my mom and brother, they didn't care one way or another. So, but yeah, I try to leave the white meat for my dad. So, you know. Then one time, here's just kind of the way I was though, but he had beat my ass. And I really didn't deserve it because, well, that's another story. But, so I went in the refrigerator and ate this little piece of sausage that I knew was going to be for his lunch the next day. I know it's mean, whatever, but I do things like that. Not often, but then I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I acted just like they did. Sometimes. I don't do much of that stuff anymore, but occasionally, you know. Oh, yeah. So same old narcissist stuff. Doug gets home last night, and then because he had been around other people, sometimes he'll kind of like shun me when he gets home. And he's eating this waffle last night, and he's like, "I burnt my waffle," and he goes to take a bite, and right before that, he had been crabby, and it's like. I got a headache. It was like they always have a headache when they act shitty. And he gives me this stupid look, goes to take a bite of this waffle, and I'm looking like your waffle ain't burnt, you jerk. Anyway, uh, just funny though, the way people are. Oh, I got a headache. I'm gonna treat you like crap and then tell you I got a headache. That'll make it all better. Here, take a couple aspirins and kiss my ass. you know, I'm like, yeah, I know. That happens often. Oh well. I expect it. That's. Hey, Doug, if you watch this, oh, do you see that? There was two of them. That's from Last of the Summer Wine, a story about old people. It was a series, a really good series from the UK, and this guy called Campo, um, he used to always go like that when he was walking away from somebody or something, or. So is that the peace sign or what? you know? Yeah. So I do the compo thing often. or I just use one finger if it so strikes me, but not often, you know. So yeah. It's kind of a nice day here. It's about 60ish and sunny. It's nice. So I hope the sawmill gets my wood done pretty soon. They've had our trees for 2 years. But we told them no hurry, but now it's kind of, we need it. I hope they get it done pretty soon. Yeah. I can work in the cold. Like I said, I'd rather work when it's colder out and no bugs than I would when it's hot anyway, when it comes to building things. So if I can wear a glove, um, mm, yeah, or I should get some of them ones with the finger so I can hold a nail if I have to. And I'd really like to get a nail gun, but I don't know. I don't even have like I probably the cheapest one would probably be $100 cheapest, and I don't want to do that. If I invest in something like that, I want it to be a really good one. So yeah. But the kitties are all doing good. That one little one with the white feet, black with white feet, Bobby girl, she never has come back. I don't know what happened to her, but we have all kinds of predators, owls and chicken hawks and everything. You know, you've heard the list before, but there's even more that I didn't put on that list that, could have done something to her, even if she was out on the road, you know. Never know. So, yeah, I didn't go out until 9 o'clock this morning, and the mama cat wouldn't come to me right away when I was calling everybody to feed them. She was like, "You were late," So I bribed her later with some salmon. you know, well, she did come eventually, and eat. And then she's looking at me like, but there isn't a whole lot left, although the bowls were all full out by their house. But I put some on the step for her, kind of just personally for her. And she ate a little bit, and there was a couple bites left, and I slipped her out some fish. And she was like, okay, that's better. That made up for it. but she does that to me. My late cat that died, Bathsheba, she would do that often. She'd hide. And Doug's cat does that too. If he's mad, he'll pout and go hide when he comes home. If he's gone too long, Doug will go, "Where's Bob?" And I go, "I don't know. He was crying a while ago, you know." But he's feeling a little better, but he's still chewing on his fur. Um, I think Doug has to put some of this lotion stuff with the aloe in it on him today. The vet said there wasn't anything for cats like that over the counter, but oh yeah, there is. And I'm not sure if we got this at a farm supply or at Walmart or where, but it's actually to decrease allergies for your human in your cat. Doug got it for me and my kitty because I'm allergic to cats and a lot of other things. So, but it has aloe in it and it's really good for their skin. So, our vet actually did not know what she was talking about because there's all kinds of skin products out there for kitties. She just wanted us to buy this one that she had there that was like $40 instead of like 15 or 20, whatever, so kind of doubled the price for a little bitty tiny bit. And the one that we first got for him was like $60, and it literally was about an ounce of liquid, just a tiny little bottle with a dropper, and that was supposed to last Bobby like 2 weeks. It was gone in 4 days because his fur was so thick, and it started drying out his skin. His ears were just like leather. That's when I mixed up some Jergens and some hydrocortisone and some warm water. And I didn't use too much of the hydrocortisone because that can be dangerous for humans or animals in large quantities. And you really don't want them licking it. So I tried to put it where he wasn't really going to lick himself. But yeah, that's not easy to do on somebody that's covered with fur. So yeah. So he is doing a little better, but it still kind of scares me. And we've had so many losses this year. Um, really, like my best friend's, well, it was her ex-husband, but I know they had many kids together and a long life together till their son killed himself. Um, Probably drug related. We don't know for sure, but she came home and found her son lying in the yard by her picnic table. Uh, oh, there's just no getting over something like that. And when Dave came home, he asked Dee, what's wrong with, it was, think Chase. Forgive me if I got the boys mixed up. It was either Chase or Skylar, but I think it was Chase. That died. No, it was Skylar. I'm sorry, Dee, if you're watching this. Yeah. Um, what was wrong with the boy? And she said he's dead. So, and the sad thing is that the dad had been doing drugs and was quite the drinker too. So, his son's like, and he used to be a dairy farmer. And the first time that the government started messing with the dairy farmers, and then Dave had to go and get a regular job because he couldn't make his farm go around. Um, Little things like that about the government that they may not see it, they may not know, but my friend ended up being an alcoholic that died because of it. So what does that matter to them? It doesn't. See, sorry, lots of losses this year. All my animals. Yeah, it's sad. It's like I said, it's unnatural, you know. But Dave was a pretty good guy. He was goofy, but he was a pretty good guy. He was a lot better off when he was out on his farm milking his cows with his kids and wife and everything. So, yeah. And Dee's a seamstress and a crafter, and she quilts and makes quilts and that type of thing, and takes them to shows and sells them and that. So she might be on Social Security now. I hope she is. I hope she's done not having to ever um, sell anything or do that. That's enough. So, yeah, she's older than I am, a few years. Maybe not a few, two. Yeah. So, yeah, I've known her since she was 17 and I was 15. So it's been quite a long time. So, and her husband I met, I seen him around before, but I met him when she brought him over here on their very first date. They came to my house, so that was kind of a That's an honor when you love somebody enough to, well, she trusted me like that. Um, and that's a big deal if you're just dating with somebody you don't want. I mean, I wouldn't take my boyfriend over to some woman that might want to get with my boyfriend, and she knew I wasn't like that. So what a better place to go, to visit and get out and meet people and that type of thing with her new love in her life. So yeah, we had a lot of fun that day. And anytime we did get together, we'd go fishing or whatever. We had fun. I'm sure we still would, but she's been going through an awful lot ever since this did happen with her son and her family and her ex. And they did still love each other. It's just, you know, um, it was funny. If somebody else said something about Dee, he'd just come kind of all unglued, but he could say whatever he wanted, so you could tell he still cared about her. So, and she never talked disrespectful about him either. So that was good. I mean, then too, her ex wasn't like my ex. So there's some people that you have no choice. I mean, if you mention them, the disrespect is in the air and in the conversation because that's the type of person they are. So, yeah. I didn't even cry yesterday, although I felt bad. But I also believe that Estelle is resting with God, so that comforted me, and it didn't really bother me because, um, she was in a retirement home and really not doing well, and I did expect it. Like I said, I had in my last video told you I pretty much was trying to let Dave know that, not, I mean, all my premonitions may not come true, but when I see something in my mind's eye that may give people an opportunity to prepare for what could be up and coming. It doesn't mean that it's an actual fact. It's just something that God puts in my mind, and then they can take it from there. It's not even a suggestion. It's definitely not a wish. It's just something that occurred to me in my mind's eye that I'm able to put out for whoever needs to hear that. It's like today, and I'm thinking with all the trillions of dollars that our government wants for their infrastructure tax bill, and we still have hungry children and people out on these streets. We have people that drones found in boxcars and trucks. That images that Doug tried to share to Facebook today. I don't know if he did. I haven't been on Facebook today. But we have bigger concerns in this world than worrying about what somebody's doing in Afghanistan. You know, we have people that are being human trafficked across the borders of Mexico and Canada. So, in and out of our country on a daily basis, and most of them are children. So, we got way bigger fish to fry in this world than worrying about false flags and the rest of their crap that they're going to try and pull. So, like, okay, if they can print money to ask the taxpayers for extra money to pay their own mortgages and whatnot when small businesses are failing right and left on this planet because of their trumped up crap and their illegitimate medical professionals. And these people are truly what they call the sons of God. God calls bastards. They're the illegitimate ones. They're the fallen. These are the bastardized creeps that keep their own bloodline going. Just like the Rockefeller bloodline in Hollywood. Same thing. Keeping it all in the family. And if not family, then initiated in some extreme. Same with the government. All over the world, there's the same people. So, but yeah, we got too much going on in this country to go worrying about everybody else. Not that, like I said, food. Hey, I'm all in for if we could feed the whole world, thank you, God, you know. But fighting their wars and leaving millions of dollars, well, trillions of dollars worth of armaments in another country is ridiculous. So now they have fighter jets and things that they never would have had. Why does the Taliban need fighter jets? Who are they going to fight? What are they going to pull next? Well, they are already trying to pull sinking a island into the sea to cause a tsunami to wipe out millions of people just to show their control is really what it is, and it's the fear factor is what they're trying to initiate. That's why you'll see like, oh, hundreds of earthquakes and what's to follow, and they're breaking news on La Palma and all this. That's just like they did with Hawaii, just how Hawaiians were feeling a couple years back here. What was it, 3 years ago now? They were doing the same thing with that, milking it along like it was something unnatural. And although I do believe that they have set bombs off in that volcano, I really do believe that in my heart. I think they did the same thing over in Hawaii, and I don't think it's the first time they've pulled this type of stuff on our planet. I'm just, it's my thoughts, you know. I've been to places that don't look like it's natural um, erosion, like places like Southern California desert or the High Sierra mountains going up into Nevada and Colorado. There's some places there that look damaged by nuclear war, you know. Although I know two places I've been in New Mexico that exactly that was what it was used for, like Roswell and whatever, like out by Area 51. I've been out there, and yeah, you can tell there's been bomb testings out there, and that's what a lot of the Southwest looks like to me. So it's not just one area. And yeah, we know they lie to us. So I'm just out here telling them, you're not going to get away with your lies. You will be caught. Everything that you lie about will be brought out into the light. You can't keep hiding and lying to people and think people are that stupid, because they're not. It's just like with that Facebook thing. It's like, you really expect me to believe that this just went down like that because of hackers or EMPs, and Zuckerberg lost like $2.4 million, and like, who gives a shit, you know? And um, I'm not getting on there. I don't know when I might again, but it isn't going to be today. I'm not patronizing their lies and their bullshit. It's like, if you don't want us on there and you want to shut everybody down, well, then bye. That's my attitude. I take that attitude with everybody and everything like that. You want to push it out? Push me out. Psh, Good. Gives me one more person to cross off my Christmas list. Yeah. So I don't believe it. It's all shenanigans. It's all bullshit, just like they do all over the planet to everybody. And if it was just hackers or if it was EMP, why all the sparse um, here and there? It was out like it was first reported at like 9:20 a.m. yesterday morning that about 180 places around the world Facebook went down. Why? Why wouldn't it be centralized if a circuit is broke or a program goes down in the software and it's centralized? That would be a area. That wouldn't be several areas. It just seems so contrived. It's like if your phone line goes down or your internet or a satellite or whatever, that's going to be in certain areas. It may affect other areas, but it's definitely going to have some centralized location to pinpoint what happened. So we'll see. We'll see what lies they come up with for us. That'll be interesting. It always is. you know. I know I had something else on my mind too, but that's okay. It'll come to me and then give me something to make another video about. So yeah, I'll leave it at there. I'll be back probably tomorrow. I'm thinking if not sooner, maybe I don't know. But peace, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at.